So today we are very fortunate to have Michael Strohmeyer from the Career Center. Mike is the Assistant Director um, there, and he's going to talk to us today about the several programs he's working on there. Very important for all of you. He's the one that you will be seeing when you are trying to line up for interviews, for jobs, and for opportunity or some other things that you can find him helpful for you. And Maya and I know each other um, since 2014. So we have been 6 years working together on several projects. So without further ado, I would like to have Mike turn over to Mike to present his lecture to you.
Well, thank you so much, Provost Yu. It is absolutely a pleasure to be here today and talking with everybody. I am part of the Career Center. It is a kind of a comprehensive career center for the entire university. There are other pockets that do different things around the area. And although there's a number of things that we do, we can't really talk about all of them. So I want to kind of give you an overview of some key things that will be helpful in terms of resources and places and things to go, what to do, kind of so you have that knowledge pool that you can enact on right away. And then also, I think in terms of kind of some fun, there should be fun things in there. I'm sure I'll throw something kind of in there, kind of a game that we have to play, which is you'll see based on the knowledge that you've learned. And then of course, I want to show you some real life kinds of things that will help you in your basically informational interviewing and networking if you haven't done them before. So I want to show you these key tools that we use a lot that can help you to benefit you in your journey, your career success, your career readiness, that build on the competencies, the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you have right now. And first and foremost, I want to recognize all of you because you are all amazing. I mean, it's the folks that I meet at UC San Diego are just incredible. I mean, this is like one of the top universities in the entire world, and here you are doing all sorts of amazing things constantly. And it's just awesome to see what you do and who you are, what you enact on this world, and what's going to happen based on the things that you do from here. So I'm going to start with a kind of a PowerPoint with that general information. We'll jump into some of the networking, some of the resources that are a part of that, and then we'll play kind of a fun game towards the end. We'll see who's got the stuff, who's ready to go there, and kind of mix it up a little bit. And sound good? Sound fair? Thumbs up. A lot of folks with their names. It's nice to see names. I'm glad you have a name. You feel free to do have your picture or be in person, and then of course we'll leave some time at the end for questions. It's up to you. I want to make this really an opportunity experience so you feel like you're learning some great things and we're connected for individual and group kinds of things as well. So here I go. I'm going to do share screen, and let's see if I can get this running. Go. All right. Can everybody see this? Someone please give me a verbal. I can't see everybody right now.
Yes, I can see it.
Yep. Thank you very much. Okay. So the Career Center, here's our Triton, just kind of announcing the Career Center at UC San Diego and that it's a fantastic place to be. If you wonder, there are some limited services that are still happening right now at the Career Center, of course, and you can to be there as part of advising, which I'll talk about a little later. But since we're here, this is just good still to know where the Library Walk location is. It's on Library Walk. It's a really awesome building, and there's a lot of really cool things that happen here traditionally. Now, of course, we can still do all of these things pretty much all virtually. So there's virtual career fairs and virtual hours that we have. It's 8 a.m. to 4:30. And one of the things that I really want to talk about that's very important, and I think Provost Yu talked about this, is that the individual appointment and going to people. I'm one of the folks that you can see, one of the associate directors. There's other folks that are part of this huge virtual appointments. So if you want to get a virtual appointment and you have not used Handshake, you want to jump onto Handshake. We'll talk a little bit more about Handshake, but you can get them all year. And right now there's an increase on the number of folks that are there to service you. So that means there are appointments now that are, some of them are even on the weekends, some of them are early in the morning, late at night. Just they're there for you to try and make sure that you're able to see someone one-on-one to answer your questions and to get you in the right place where you need to be in terms of your career. So I want to point that out, because sometimes in the past it's been difficult, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. Those individual virtual appointments. There's also drop-in virtual appointments. You don't have to make any sort of appointment for this. You would just jump on Handshake and then click. You get the link, and then you can go and see folks. That's 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. And these are kind of quick questions. So you just want to say, hey, I got a question. I don't want to set up an appointment or anything. I was wondering about, this particular interviewing question that I had, or company, or something like that. And you can go and do that from 10 to 3 Monday through Friday. So that's something that's definitely not a problem to do. And then the summer, there's different kinds of hours that happen for drop-in. But again, there's an individual all year round. The drop-in are there for you. I will say, we have a really cool program called the Career Peer Educator Program, and it's been around for a while, and we have differing numbers of students that are part of this, and they've been trained in things for so everything from medicine to a medical crew that has trained them for medicine questions. Then there also are questions that are kind of based on more general kinds of questions for that you might want to know, like everything from a resume to cover letter, job search strategies, internship, things of that nature. So we're kind of going to move from there. So there's 3 parts of the Career Center. I know this graphic is so amazing, and I just jump at it, you're like, oh, it's awesome. But it gets the point. So there's 3 parts. There's this career education and advising. The whole point of coaching, advising, giving you the education. If you're just wondering things like, I want to explore. I'm at a point where I don't know what I want to do. There's things that are covered in this peak where people have gone to high different kinds of learning to kind of understand what it means to explore with you. It seems like such a simple thing when it can be very, very deep, and it can recall into many, many different kinds of appointments. So sometimes people want to go to the same person multiple times. That happens a lot. It's okay to kind of continue those conversations. And it's not something you have to happen one time or 2 times. It could be 3, it could be 4 times until you start to feel really comfortable where you are. There's professional development kind of things that are going on. Career fair preparation. If you've never been to a career fair, it's like, well, what do I do in these kind of situations? And assessments. We have assessments, strengths, and Myers-Briggs type indicator, the MBTI. We have folks on our team who are trained. And when I say trained, they've gone for at least like a week, 40 hours of training. They maintain it throughout the years, and they see students. And it's pretty intense for these kind of trainings. It's not just, when they look at these kind of assessments, they've been trained to assess what it means and how that can help you. Now, I will say this, the assessments that we use are different kinds of aspects. Like strengths is more of kind of like what you're really awesome at, what you're good at, and how can you use this in an interview, or how can you use this on the job? But it's really not telling you what job to do. That's part of the career exploration and part of your own journey yourself. Now, a big one that people use all the time is resume critiques. We do tons of resume critiques, and sometimes we have employers who do resume critiques as well. And we have career classes. There's a career class that I teach. There's a career class that 2 other of my colleagues teach as well. One in biology, one in engineering, and they're classes that you can take online. They're usually 1 to 2 credits, or 1 to 2 units rather, and you can take them for pass, not pass, and learn a whole bunch of great information that can take with you for down the avenue and just kind of paint the town and do great things. We do have career fairs still. We have a lot of different types of career fairs, even though they're not in person. We have like the Sci-Tech career fair. We have career fairs for like nonprofits and government and things like that. So we're offering a lot of different kinds of ones, even though we don't have them in person anymore because of where we're at right now. Things like that, there's still interviewing that goes on, and there's still information sessions where people will bring companies like, I don't know, maybe Apple to a career fair setting, and then they'll talk to people who sign up for an information session to learn more about it and how they get in and things of that nature. And there's still industry networking nights. We work a lot with student organizations and having them work with us to plan and partner together to create an awesome industry-specific networking night. We just had one recently for business and it was really successful. And that's kind of some of the things that go on. We also do panels, and alumni and employer panels. So if you're wanting to learn more about the inside track from what's going on from someone who's actually been there, we offer those as well. And these are all things that are virtual, and pretty much everything we have is posted on Handshake. So you'll see Handshake for events, Handshake for doing advising, Handshake for finding jobs. Handshake is a great resource. I do want to point out Student Employment Office too. They're a centralized student employment office for on-campus jobs and some off-campus jobs that are related to student employment. They have a Triton worker. They can ask you or answer your questions if you ask them about how work study works, if you have work study. If you don't know you have work study, they can help you with that too. And they do a lot of really cool stuff. And there's a significant number of jobs on campus that are student employment that can help you in the long run. So here's some online resources. On the right, you see the Handshake there. Handshake does the virtual Zoom appointments. One that I want to point out a little bit is kind of cool. So some of these resources, this big interview. If you've never known all the different types of interviewing, like behavioral interviewing, situational interviewing, phone interviews, virtual interviews, if you've never gone to a group interview or a one-on-one interview or extended office interview or how to do negotiation, these are things all part of big interview, which also has a component where you can record yourself in a video setting and send it to somebody too. So it's really cool, and it's a great resource, and a lot of schools are using it now. I think it's totally legit, and I would encourage you to use it any time of night you want to. So if you got this, you got an event coming up, or maybe you've got an interview coming up and you're late, hey, use it anytime you want to. 2 o'clock in the morning, go for it. Now, LinkedIn, I'm going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn, more about the alumni for UC San Diego. We have roughly 190,000 alumni on LinkedIn for UC San Diego. And I want to talk a little bit more about that. There's 2 things that I think are really critical too in terms of guides that we have. And the student employment and the Triton worker are all part of the student employment office. There are ways to get information if you ask questions and kind of learn more about it without having to go in. I will point out, if you still want to talk to one of the folks that are part of that team, you can make an appointment on Handshake. Handshake again. All right, the Triton Career Guide is not on is on Handshake, and so is Healthbeat, but it is not something that that's proprietary. It's something that we've actually created ourselves, and it's a great resource for how to do cover letters and how to do the competencies. And if you're in the health professions, how do you look at those resources and careers? This Healthbeat one is brand new. The Triton Career Guide is started last year, and so between those, you can do a virtual look on all this stuff through something online. It's a PDF version that we can put. It's posted on UC San Diego's website for Career Center, which is career.ucsd.edu. All right. Now, I want to point out a couple other resources that are on here for Handshake. You might be saying, Mike, why are you talking about Handshake? I'm saying, well, because there's a lot of cool things. There's an app for Handshake for your phone if you have that capability, and there's you can do it on your laptop or whatever. They're found through clicking the Career Center tab on Handshake. If you want to do a practice interview, mock interviews, key information, videos and interviewing, that's Big Interview. If you want to learn about internship and job searches at home or abroad, the H-1B search tool or country guides, looking at how they do maybe some sort of resume in Spain, for example, you go to Going Global. If you want to do information about exploring majors, information in the field, career areas, Handshake has what to do with this, what can I do with this majors? Again, these are resources that are held in Handshake. And then where can I find out like industry, company, professional information? Vault. And a resource that is actually out through the Bureau of Labor Statistics is Duties, Training, Pay, and Education, which is very helpful if you're thinking about what kind of education you need to ultimately achieve, what's the average wage or salary. Occupational Outlook Handbook has a lot of that information. All right. Back to this career education advising. So what can you do? You can schedule appointments with a career coach for career exploration, the assessments, job and interview preparation, graduate professional school, pre-health advising. Yeah, I hope some of those reach you and say, hey, I'm interested in those kinds of things and more we have that are available for you. And again, it may not be a one-time thing. It may be a few. They may have to come up multiple times to kind of address those situations. So I just want you to know this is here for you, and we're here to be reached out for your success. Now there's a career peer educator program. They do the drop-in advising, which are 10 to 15 minute sessions. And there's a graduate peer educator program for people in the graduate school. So it's kind of cool as well. Now back to the student employment. Typically there's 10,000 students that work on campus. Now there are less this year, but there's still a significant number. And UC San Diego prioritizes the students by offering positions that are less than 20 hours a week to students first before hiring outside the university. And some of the wages that are out there for students who are working through UC San Diego's student employment are very nice. And there's a whole host of jobs that are out there, if you can imagine. They're not one area that you might think they are. There's a whole host of jobs, and one might be very, very key to what you're trying to do. And if you want to be on, if you're on campus, that's, it has some virtual campus jobs. So there's a lot of different types of things that are going on. Back to the work study. On-campus work study funding can be used in 98% of paid positions on campus. So work study is money from the government that allows to be paid for the job. So the university doesn't have to pay for that portion in many respects. And it's actually an advantage in many ways because some positions are only work study, but many are not. There's so many that are out there. There's an opportunity for all sorts of folks that are looking for on-campus jobs. And when I say on campus, I mean on campus, and some off-campus work study opportunities like the nonprofit partnership and reading and math tutor program are part of that, as well as remote jobs that are there that happen to in smaller numbers. And then you can see the training worker. All right. All right, so I just want to cover a little bit about career fairs. This is how career fairs have traditionally looked at the UC San Diego. There's quarterly career fairs, professional grad schools, and typically in person, now virtual. But guess what? We have a whole host more of different types of career fairs, and they're happening online, and they still give you a lot of opportunities, and people are still hiring. And so this is a good thing that's going on in terms of how we've been able to manage it and position ourselves for you so that you can have opportunities. One of the things I'll say is, believe it or not, in the fall, there's an awful lot of jobs that are being hired for the summer and even for next year sometimes. People advance their jobs quite a bit advanced out because they're looking for candidates for their talent pool way in advance. Now, that being said, on Handshake, if you're looking for a job, which is great, you could probably find an internship, a full-time job, a part-time job. You can find a student working job, all these kind of jobs, all on Handshake. All student employment has to be posted on Handshake, all of it. Every single job has to be posted on Handshake. And then there's a ton of other jobs that are there. It's not the only place for jobs for other jobs, but it's a great, great resource for these things like internships and those kind of positions that you might be wanting to look for. And I will say, you want to continue to look and get your career toolkit going. Other conferences that are out there, some of these conferences as they develop online and are in person, you can see there's a career readiness conference that looks like that's to be happening, and the graduate conference and MEDS are things that typically happen and are open to alumni as well. Again, all these things change as the days change with being virtual. This is something that I'll point out a little bit later as we talk about LinkedIn, how to network and do informational interviews, and also Triton Connect. If you look at where people work typically at the university, a lot of the graduates stay in San Diego, work at UC San Diego. A lot of them are working for Google and Qualcomm and Apple and Amazon and Illumina and Facebook and Microsoft and Intuit and things of this nature. So just those are some of the jobs that are out there. I want to say thank you for this brief portion as we kind of move along to some of the more kind of fun interactive portions as we continue on. And I do hope that you have some questions as we move along. All right, so let me switch over to the next thing and we'll take a little breather from this. All right, so we're going to go to the next. All right, can I get a verbal on someone if they can see this?
Yep.
I see. Yes.
Thank you. Oh, that's great. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so this is LinkedIn. How many folks? Well, I would say how many. I hope a lot of you have LinkedIn profiles. LinkedIn is a great resource, and as you can see, this is something that you can take advantage of at any time of the day. And it is a professional system. It's a place to brand yourself, and a lot of employers use this. A ton of employers use this. And so it's very helpful for yourself to get prepared and understand what it looks like for yourself to do that. And if you don't have one created, you probably want to start. It takes a while to build up your contacts and those kinds of things. And we can help at the Career Center. We offer LinkedIn profile preparation and help and guidance. So you can meet with one of us, put your profile up and say, hey, what are some things that you could do to possibly improve this or make it look more enticing? So that's one of the things that's out there. Another thing that's out there is using it for looking for jobs. And another thing we're going to look at tonight is how you use a page for the university that focuses on alumni to connect with them. But I will say, as you're building this, there's two different kind of major approaches and one in the middle. There's someone who's what's called a LION, a LinkedIn Open Networker. They reach out to anybody and they try and make as many connections as possible. That's one way. The other way potentially is going through, maybe, I don't know, kind of the opposite, which is a closed network or a trusted network, as LinkedIn has traditionally called it, where you only connect to people that you know and trust, so that if they refer you or you refer them, you know that everything's good. Simple as that. But in the middle, there's kind of like a hybrid approach where you got people that you know, and there's some people that they would make sense to connect to. So that's kind of where you're at. And they open a lot of doors as you see the connections open up the doors for you. And there's more jobs on LinkedIn than there are in Indeed. But I would say you don't want to solely be using these type of materials or programs or resources as the only method. And one of the methods you can do to build your network up is something called informational interviewing. And I hope you've all had experience with it. If you haven't, we'll talk about one of the ways to use it today. So you get to this page, you type in search, and you just type in UC San Diego, and you'll see the logo pop up like this. And here we are. I'll take this to, here's the same section. Here we are. You see Geisel and everything. It's pretty clear. All right. And then you're going to go down here and you go to alumni. And it's going to pop up with a section for where they live, so and where they work. So the first thing you want to do is identify where you want to work. So let's just say we want to work in San Diego. That cuts it down from the 190,000 to 70,000. Makes it a little easier. We're looking to get a more manageable number. Where they work, we're like not interested in where they work right this second. We're looking for maybe some things that are a little bit different. So, what they're doing, for example, like computer science, econ, psych, biology, biochemistry, political science. These are some of the things you can type in your own here if it doesn't work. But let's do econ, and let's go back to the other savings. So we've got that going on. So there's things like this. So business development, finance, operations, education, information technology, research, accounting, sales, marketing, so on and so forth. Let's take a look at finance. So you're starting to see it narrow down to 490. That's a decent number. You could work with that if you needed to. Let's see what else we got here going on. What are they skilled at? Leadership, financial analysis, finance, management, customer service. And how do you know them? These are the degrees of separation that you have: first, second, and third. We're not going to do that right now, and we're going to do finance. So we start off very simple way to explain this. Now I have 137 alumni from nearly 200,000 to 137. We did that nearly in just a minute. It was, not very long at all. If you were to take some serious time, use the search filters, and take some really, really careful, modalities with this, you could get into a place where you're really focusing on people that could be ideal to talk to. That's the goal here. So what we want to do, we'll go down now. We want to see folks who may be someone we want to talk to. Daniel here, for example, or Feifei, founding partner, associate at Apple, asset manager. Well, there's a lot of folks here. Technology. Okay, this looks pretty cool. So senior financial analyst at University of California, San Diego. And one of the things you're looking for when you look at the folks is not just what they did, but when they graduated. So Emma here graduated in 17 in management science, whereas Ashley graduated in 09. And so Ashley's got a little bit more time in this sector, hence, she's got the senior financial analyst position. If you're looking for people who are more entry level, you might look for someone who's been around just a short period of time to answer those questions for you, what it's like. If you're looking to connect with somebody who's got a lot of experience, well, you could talk to somebody who's been around for a while, and that's kind of the idea here. So let's take a look at Ashley. So first, what I'll say is you just want to click connect, and then as it opens up, you have an option to just type in a message or send a generic. So what I would say is don't send the generic, because people typically don't read a generic message. Say something like, although we've not met, I'm a student at UC San Diego, and I'm interested in learning more about your senior financial analyst position at company ABC. I'm free on Mondays and Tuesdays from 2 to 4, and I look forward to hearing more about this position as I explore my career field. Thank you. Something like that, and then they know that that they connect to you because she's an alumna, you might be an alumna or alumnus, and you have this connection already, or future alum. That's something that's very, very reasonable, because you're not asking for money, you're just asking for questions to be answered. And that's the informational piece. So you would be asking these folks very simple questions, or maybe tough questions. You may ask them can you refer me to another person, refer to someone else in this field to learn more? You could ask about what are some strategies you took to get here? You tell me about a typical day that's what it looks like. What are some challenges you have faced? How did you get to this place? How did you get from where you got? These kind of questions that you have, and you want to send a thank you note. The thank you note's really critical because that's something that makes it's not done every time, and it really makes a big difference. So you want to keep on this positive note, because this person could turn into a mentor. This person could recommend you, and if nothing else, it's the right, positive, and professional thing to do. So this is just one of the ways that you can connect with people. If you can't, you can always click on Ashley, and you say, okay. She's at UC San Diego. You could talk about, she's been here for 13 years. Wow. And she's been a senior research administrator. You can see where she's been. She's been a trade services intern at World Trade Center in San Diego. And she's in Texas A&M. She got her BA in economics here. And you could say, depending on who you find, you could see ideas where to get internships from people based on the fact that where you want to be, what field you're in, and where you are as a student at UC San Diego. That's a better potential than maybe going through Indeed or something like that for a lot of positions. Granted, things like Handshake are there too, but this starts to build a network and give you opportunities that you might not have had before. All right, so we're going to switch over to a different one here. Does anyone have any questions before we move on from that portion of LinkedIn? Does anyone have any questions about the fact that you're asking someone kind of who you don't know, and you're trying to connect with them as that person is an alum or as an alum of UC San Diego, and you will be that role as well. So you're trying to make that connection. Do you have any questions about where you get information on this? How does the process work? Those kinds of things. Anyone have any questions about that?
Mike, how do we know if this person or that person will be more likely to respond?
And that's the question here. Thank you. Well, Provost Yu, the thing here is that you don't know. And with LinkedIn, you have one, and I'm going to show a different tool, which is called Triton's Connect next. The thing with LinkedIn is you can really get very granular. You can see really great opportunities and people who are very, very connected, but you may not be able to connect with them in a way that you want to, and that means that you maybe send out 5 connections and you get none, or you try and you finally get one. What I've been told is a real good thing is you're really just trying to get the one person to give you the insight, because that insight can open up doors and ideas. it is something where you have to put it's not that you have to put thick skin on, but you have to be prepared that someone might just be busy and they don't have an opportunity to connect in that way. So that's one of the things that I would mention, because you may come up with this on LinkedIn, because there are 200,000 almost alumni that are out there, and they may not be expecting or using LinkedIn as much as they do other profiles and programs. So that's something to be expected. That's a really great question to ask, and to kind of look at that. But it still does provide the opportunity to get to a place where you might not have been before, and to get to someone who can really, really, really speak to something that you're very, very interested in and exactly what you want to do. I was talking to a student who was really, really interested in a very particular aspect of economics and environmental science and things of this nature. Then it really takes a LinkedIn to kind of get to those kind of people who are doing that. Whereas Tritons Connect is a little bit different. I'll kind of focus on that in just a second. All right, so let's take a look at Tritons Connect. All right, goodbye, Ashley. Thank you for helping us. There we go. Right. So this is, if you've never seen Tritons Connect, this is a platform for UC San Diego. I'll go to the top here so you can see what it looks like. So it's got Geisel again, our awesome library, which I hope you will eventually spend more time soon and again. And it's got some really cool things around the world, kind of focusing on the fact that this is a platform just for UC San Diego. So you'll see students, you'll see faculty, you'll see alumni, you'll see staff on this platform. And there's a couple of different things that are really, really cool about this platform, is that the people who go on this platform, typically when they mark that they want to help, they raise their hand and say, I'm willing to help. So that means that if someone reaches out to that person, their likelihood that they're going to respond is much, much higher probably than a LinkedIn connection. Not always, but probably. So what I think here in this regard is that when you look at Tritons Connect, the difference is you're going to get a smaller number of folks. We're looking at something like 7,500 or 8,000 people at this point. It's growing. It just launched recently. This is the first year that it's doing it. It's really, really building, and it gives you an opportunity to connect with someone who really, really wants to connect. So you may not find that exact fit, but you'll find someone who you may. But the idea is that you'll connect with that person and have that conversation, and they'll respond probably more likely than someone on LinkedIn, and then you'll have that next steps that you can do. There's a couple other features on this that are really, really cool that I also want to mention that are not available, that are not part of LinkedIn because for some of the apparent reasons that they have. One of them is mentoring. So if you're looking for a mentor, you can find a mentor in this program over here on the left. And what you'll be able to do is see people who are saying, I'm willing to be a mentor. And it's really up to you to go ahead and make the connection and so do those kinds of things and build it. It's not one thing, but for example, they've got a couple of job functions that are up here, like healthcare, consulting, education, research, engineering. And say, wow, there's 3,700, or not 3,700, 374 available mentors that are out there for engineering. Fantastic. This is a great resource for that. And there's other ways to do. You can search by job function. You can search by education, computer software, industry, company, to find someone who might say, I just want to talk to someone at Google. I really want to go to Google. I want to get some inside scoop from Google. Go to the company, look for Google, see who's there, and connect. And those kind of things start a relationship. It's up to you to build that. It may be a perfect fit, and you just connect with each other. That's fantastic. Or you may connect with someone, and it's just not the right fit. But it's just not the right dynamic that you have. You appreciate that, and you work with them, and say thank you. And you're trying to find someone who really is a good mentor for you for the long haul. I've had a mentor in my life, and it made a huge, huge difference. That person and I really, really carried. That person kind of helped me understand the bigger parts of what I was doing, and it became a confidant, a friend, a mentor, a person who can guide. And there's so much, I think, of value that offers a mentor. And here it is right here, an opportunity to get connected. But again, it's not something you click a button and then you're matched. Granted, I will say there's something called Take a Triton to Work Day that does come up. We'll have an in-person kind of situation where you can meet someone in person. This is something you can just do right now over the internet and connect with somebody and talk to them on the phone. You can have a virtual chat and do that. Now the directory, I'll talk a little bit about that too. This is where you can search for people. Here's this willing to help. So Industrial Enterprise Solutions, LLC Managing Director, founder of it. And you can see a little bit about their profile too. So this is kind of like the backstory on folks who've been, so what, look, Triton athlete, business owner, recreation alumni, see all the things you're part of. And you can see all this is just like a LinkedIn profile to get to know the person, and you can reach out and just simply message them. That's simple as it needs to be, right there, right on the spot, and it's very, very easy to do that. So that's something that I recommend to do for Tritons Connect, and do that. If you're wondering how to get on, you can't get on or not been part of your email, you can simply ask at Tritons Connect. You'll see that there's a connection to the Alumni Association, and alumni can get you on. It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. So you can see how this would work very simply and easily to just ask someone to talk for informational interviews. If you're wondering about informational interviews, information itself, you can go to the Triton Career Guide, which is at career.ucsd.edu. It talks about typical questions. It talks about reflection afterward. It talks about how you would prepare for it. Those are the kinds of things it is. And remember, this is a professional situation. This is real stuff. And it does seem a little bit scary to a lot of folks to actually reach out to someone they don't know. And I think for some people that can be difficult. But the folks that are on here, I think, you know, they're really open and willing and wanting to help and give. And so I think that really does help the situation, because they're on your side. So that's one of the things I would mention. There are things that are really cool here. I'll mention too, as far as groups that are out there. There's a group for Revelle College, which has 976 members. So you can talk to people in Revelle College, or if you want to talk to people in Sixth, there's another group. So there's groups for different kind of things that are on here that you can kind of like LinkedIn has different kinds of things for that. You could connect in those regards and those kinds of things as well. So, all right.
I have questions. Is there like any connect for postgrad students? Because I would like to go for a PhD and maybe get connect with somebody who give me like maybe broad perspective of, you know, maybe my field or something.
Well, you know, there's a couple of things I would say to that for if you're in the PhD realm area. One of the things is we actually have a couple of folks on our team that work with folks in master's and PhD land and postdocs, and in some sense. There are some resources that they have that would be good to meet with to talk about. But in this regard, this is open to everybody in terms of like you'd have to search to find these things. LinkedIn might be a better kind of focus area that you can find what specific kind of research you're looking for, what they're doing, you can see where they went to school, you know, those kinds of things, and see if that's the kind of program you're interested in. That would be more of a LinkedIn question, I would say, potentially, not necessarily, but potentially. And so, and again, also touching base with one of our graduate program kind of advisors to see what kind of resources they would suggest as well. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, no problem. All right, we're going to switch over to kind of a fun thing at this point, and unless there are other questions that are out there. No. Okay. Everyone's got it all down. Everyone's feeling good. Ready to. All right. Let's take a break from some of me just kind of talking about this and exposing you to some really cool, I think, resources that are out there, and kind of the overview of what we do and we can offer you. One of the things I do want to mention is that there's so many programs that you'd be surprised there's so much being done at this space, even though it's at an unprecedented times with so much virtual. There's a lot of opportunities that are still out there, and it's important to get connected, and it's very, very critical that you network. It's really critical that you meet people and be real, be authentic, and be yourself, and meet people and just build relationships, because that's going to help you in the long run so much in terms of listening. And you can still do this through these platforms and through your friends and family and people that you know as well. So I'm going to see how many people want to do this. This is a Kahoot. It's kind of a neat thing. What this is a game, kind of a fun game based on some questions that I have, 10 questions. And it's based on some of the things that I've talked about. And we're going to see who can do this. All you need is a device. It could be a laptop. It could be a computer, like a big PC. It could be a tablet. It could be your phone. Most people just use your phone. And what you're going to do is you're going to type in kahoot.it and then type in this name. So you're not downloading anything. If you've never played it before, it's kind of a fun thing to do. So we're going to play Are You Ready? All right, so let's see if we can do this setup a little bit differently. All right.
Can you say it again or put on the chat the link to Kahoot?
It's going to come up here. So 1 second here. Right here, join www.kahoot.it. And then you're going to type in this pin after you type in the URL. And then you'll type in your name. It doesn't have to be your real name. It just has to be a name, and it has to be professional or appropriate, I should say. We're going to go with the first people that sign up, just the very first few people that sign up so we can play, and we'll go with that. Right. Looks like a good group. Oh, there's a couple more people. All right. I don't see any more folks. Oh, one more. Emma's in here. Emma's ready to rumble. Okay, we'll see how they do. That Frisbee. That's a unique first name. I have not seen that before. Okay. So here we go. Let's start it. Where is Career Services located? Student Services, Center Hall, Library Walk, or the Student Center? Library Walk. A couple of people were thinking Student Services. Everyone's all over the place. Let's see who's winning so far. Emma came in late, but is just dominating. Fantastic. All right. Which career fairs are offered on campus? Science Technology, Spring Career Fair, Grad Fair, or all are? How fast were you? Were you too fast? Who knows? Very good. A large group got that one. A couple people were thinking Science and Tech and Spring Career Fair. Scoreboard up. Ooh, Shanice. All right, moving up. Which is a resource for informational interviewing? Going Global, Handshake, LinkedIn, or none of the above? I hope you get this one right. LinkedIn. All right. What are walk-in hours for career educators in the fall, winter, and spring? That was the very first slide for the presentation. Actually, the second slide. Nice. A couple of people were thinking 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. I guess that would be a good time for some folks. Anthony is staying up there. All right. What percentage of undergraduate students are pursuing pre-health professions? Now, I don't know how many people are pursuing pre-health professions, but there are roughly 10 to 12 areas that our pre-health program, which is called Health Beat, covers. It is a fantastic program. It is award-winning. It is incredible. They work incredibly hard, and they have a lot of resources, stuff from everything you can imagine, like VO, MD, dentistry, optometry, physical therapy, all that stuff. It's healthbeat.ucsd.edu or career.ucsd.edu. Just go into the pre-health advising. So you can meet people for drop-in advising. You can meet people, there's email questions, there's group questions, there's presentations, there's individual advising, there's that health guide, the Healthbeat career guide. I mean, there's tons of stuff for this if you're really interested in that program. And it's a very long road, but it can be a huge and wonderful, rewarding experience. All right. Where would you find events, workshops, and schedule appointments for the Career Center? Craigslist, Handshake, Port Triton, or eBay? Very nice. Which of the following recruit at UC San Diego? Google, Facebook, Amazon, or all of the above? All of the above. Anthony is just going away. This person, Anthony, has been reading this material and rocking. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to take this person down. What new resource will help in career development? Port Ariel, the Triton Career Guide, the Find a Job robot, or the Force? Triton Career Guide. No one said the Force. That people have selected that. I guess that's because the Force apparently, according to Star Wars, is a little older than the Triton Career Guide. New resource. All right. Boy, who can catch Anthony? Getting closer. What is key to interviewing in general career readiness? Prepare, 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 or all of the above? Nice. Sometimes people that go jump it real quick and they try to win by doing the quick one. And this was very well. Y'all are amazing. I think this is the last one coming up here. I don't know if you can catch Anthony. We'll see. 10 to 10. What could you do in the next 24 hours to advance your career development? Best answer. Create a career portfolio, practice interviewing, practice your pitch, or 30-second commercial, or all of the above. And the winner is Shanice's 3. Anthony's 2. And the winner is Tristan. All right, Tristan, come. And the runner's up.
Wonderful.
All right, let's stop this. Oops.
You can see the winner.
All right, who's the winner?
I was.
Tristan. Is that you, the winner over there?
Okay, hold on, I'm gonna turn my light real quick.
Yo, a round of applause to Tristan. Amazing. You can't. That was hard fought. And Anthony was headed for a while there. Emma Star. It was incredible. It was a tough one. Okay. Thanks, Therese. So at this point, we've covered a couple of different things. I did want to mention that is a very important point, that it's not something that it's a one-time deal. So as you're developing your career, wherever you are, whatever point you are, whatever career readiness you have, some people are just getting started out. Some people are changing their careers in life many, many times. And so I think many people feel like, oh, I need to know exactly what I'm doing every step of the way all the time. And sometimes it's okay to just say, I'm still exploring about this. Let me figure this out, and try an internship out. Internships are a great way to test things out and see, do you like it? If you didn't like it, that's great that you did it now instead of getting an entry-level position when you don't actually like the job. And it's still on your resume, you still get experience, things of that nature. And taking the time now, if you have it, to go ahead and make those connections on LinkedIn, make those connections on Friends Connect, make those connections among friends and family, reach out, have it almost be like a regular thing. I talked to a student who was working on his interviewing, and this person said, I'm not doing well in my interviewing, but I'm working on it. We worked on it and worked on it. This person started reaching out to alumni and started connecting and creating their own network that they had, and they felt very confident about that, and they felt better and better as they got along with it and developed relationships, and have now built bridges with people who they didn't know before. And I think that's one of the things we talk about, and I've spent a significant amount of time about this networking. It does seem a little bit odd because you're talking to a stranger, but the old adage is, you were strangers were once best friends were once strangers. Sometimes is the way to look at it. And sometimes it's just hardest to just say, hi, my name is Mike, or whatever your name is, and say, hi, and just break the ice and just kind of be a person and talk about those things. I will also mention that on resumes, you may be surprised to hear that you don't have to always put everything, super professional. Sometimes it can be, something where you have just something, a personal item, like that you go and do, like you're a triathlete, or that you ride mountain bikes, or that you hiker or something. And when you meet with a recruiter or someone, they may have the same kind of thing, and they connect with you in a direct way. So those are things that I want to kind of point out there. And I want to take some time for some questions, because we have a few minutes here. If there's any questions that are out there.
Yes, I'd like to make a comment. This is really true. I have a couple examples that people get their first job not because of the GPA or skill, but sometimes it's just their hobby. Hobbies, for example, they play a piece of music, or certain hobby in skiing, or rock climbing, or something like that. When they conduct interview, the people who start a conversation will ask them those questions, and eventually leading to a job offer. So, yeah.
I'm just responding to a question here. Let's see. Handshake. M. All right. All right. So if there's no other questions, I guess I want to take the time to just really thank you for spending your time here, for allowing me to be part of this. We're here for you. We have lots and lots of folks who want to support you, want you to succeed, and want you to be the best and brightest and amazing people that you already are, times a million. Just to be changing the world in dramatic ways, and being so happy about what you're doing that you have joy for it every day. And again, I want to say we're not here for one time. We're here to be hear it over and over again. If you have questions, please feel free to just come in any way that you need to. We want to come in and help you. And again, the appointments that are virtual, there's tons and tons of them, and they're one-on-one. And if you just want to do a drop-in, that's there too. But the resources are there, the opportunities are there, and it's up to you if you want to take advantage of them. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah. All right.
Well, I'm gonna take off, and I wish you all the best then. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So just one last thing is next week there will be no class, no class meeting. So enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we'll see you again after Thanksgiving, and we will have the one guest from or several guests from graduate division to walk you through with the application for graduate school, which can be master, could be professional degree, and so on. Okay, yeah. Enjoy your holiday. Okay, next week.
And you mean by next week, neither Wednesday, wait, when we do it? On Thursday and Friday, right? Both of them?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, but we used to have a discussion section tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Okay, bye.